Did you know that Windows and your motherboard has no way of detecting bad DIMM RAM sticks? You can spend hours chasing your tail thinking you have a virus on your computer, or you've got a bug in your favorite game, or you've got a video driver that's causing you problems, when in reality you have a bad memory stick. Let me show you how to test your memory.
So why do we want to test RAM? Because bad RAM causes crashes and errors. Now, of the most common things that can cause crashes and errors, bad RAM is a distant third. The most common reason you're getting crashes and errors on your system is malware, it's viruses. The second most common, especially if you're a gamer, is a bug in your game software or a device driver. And a distant third is bad RAM. It's important to remember that bad RAM can cause the exact same symptoms as viruses and bugs, because you may get fixated on looking for a virus or trying to update your game software or your device driver, and you've never tested your RAM, and it takes about 30 minutes to test your RAM and rule that out. So you can chase your tail for days if you don't remember to test the RAM on your system to rule that out as a possibility of weirdness.
My favorite memory testing program is MemTest 86 Plus. It can be found at www.memtest.org, and you can download it by following the download link. Now, there's different versions you can download. You can download the bootable ISO, which is a compressed image of a bootable CD, or you can download their auto installer. Now, without getting off into the weeds, I've had some trouble with some third-party utilities that can take an ISO and put them on a memory stick, being able to make this MEMS test bootable. So I'm going to use the auto installer right here, MemTest 86 USB installer, and need admin rights. I have to agree, and disk drive D is my USB memory stick. I am going to tell it to format it and create the bootable memory stick. Now, this bootable memory stick is not going to be secure boot compatible. So I'm going to have to be able to boot my PC non-secure, non-UEFI in order for it to work. So let's boot it up and watch it in action. To MemTest 86, we have to bring up the one-time boot menu. So I am pressing F8 here as I come into the opening BIOS screen, and I should get a one-time boot menu any moment now. And there it is. Isn't that so exciting? If we look through the different boot options, I don't want to boot back to Windows on disk drive C. I cannot boot this memory stick secure boot because this utility is not a secure boot utility. I'm not interested in booting from disk drive C. I'm not interested in booting from the DVD drive. Here is the non-secure boot option for this memory stick. Now, to enable non-secure boot, you may have to go into your BIOS and turn that option on to allow compatibility mode or non-secure boot. But let me boot into MemTest 86. And here it is up and running. Upper left corner, you can see it's MemTest 86 Plus version 5.31b. You can see as we read across, I have an AMD Ryzen Threadripper on this computer. And if you look on the left-hand side and come on down, you can see I've got 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it is being tested because if we look at the state, it says it's running. Now, in the middle towards the top, you can see that the current memory testing pass is 5% done. And the current test it's doing is test number 5, and that's coming up on 40% done. So it will run through a series of different tests that are writing different patterns of zeros and ones into memory and reading them back, because certain patterns of zeros and ones are more prone to having errors in the memory than others. So it's running all these different tests to see if you have bad memory. Now, on the right-hand side in the middle, you can see it's on pass number 0, and the number of errors it has found is 0. So we want to let this run all the way through to completion, and then it's going to be super exciting and throw up this wonderful message saying, your memory is perfect. No, it won't do that. It's just going to start on the next pass. This program runs forever until you reboot the computer or you exit the memory testing program. But what we want to do is at least one pass and see no errors. That's what I like to do on a brand new computer. So right now we're about 15% done, and if we look at the elapsed time, we're coming up on 2 minutes. So this is going to take a while, and I'll bring you back when it is completed pass number 1. So at any moment after 27 minutes of running memory diagnostics, we should hit the end of pass number 1. We're 100% done with this pass. It says it's 100% done with the last test on pass number 1. In mere moments, we'll see the change. It'll be dramatic, and you will be overwhelmed by what it tells us. So there. Can you see the dramatic change to the screen? Can you see it? There's a number that changed from a 0 to a 1. And now we're on the second pass, 5% done. And that's all this program does, is test memory all day long and night. I once left this running for 3 weeks straight on a lab computer, just because. But that's how you test memory, and as you can see, there are 0 errors, and that's what I wanted to see. I have good memory sticks. I'm just going to hit escape, and the computer will reboot. Now, the other way we can test the RAM of this computer is to use the built-in memory tester that comes with Windows, and you can either bring up a command prompt and type in the command, or just type it in the search bar, but I'm going to type mdsched and press enter, and it's going to pop up a window here and say restart now to check for problems of your memory. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that option. It's going to take the computer a little while to reboot, and then we will see it beginning to run. All right, it has rebooted into Windows Memory Diagnostics, and the reason it has to reboot is your Windows operating system is using a bunch of RAM of the motherboard, and it can't test that RAM if it's being used by an operating system. So this is a little standalone program that runs to test all the memory. Now if I hit F1, you can see I can run the basic tests, I can run standard test, or I can run extended. I would personally just recommend extended, because the more thorough your memory diagnostic is, the better. But I'm just going to leave it on standard right here. And we will just hit F10 to apply these changes and let it run. So it's 6% done. Now, one annoying thing about the Windows Memory Diagnostics tool is when it's done, it just reboots back into Windows, and you have to go into Event Viewer under System to see if your memory was good. It doesn't leave a message on the screen here. Now, if you look at the status right here, it says no problems have been detected. So we're just going to let this run, and when we get back to Windows, I'll show you how to look up the results. We are getting close to the completion of the Windows Memory Diagnostics Tool test of the RAM on this motherboard. Now, down at the bottom it says Windows will restart the computer automatically. The test results will be displayed again after you log in. Maybe that's in the notification area, but I've always had to go to Event Viewer to find it. We shall see. And there's the reboot. And we're logged in. Let me check notifications. I don't see any notifications that our memory testing was successful. I'm going to run Event Viewer. There it is. Once this pops up, I'm going to go to Windows Logs, System. Here, let me make this bigger. And then we can see right here, informational from just a few minutes ago. The Windows Memory Diagnostic tested the computer's memory and detected no errors. And it put it in there twice, just for good measure. So that's what you have to do to see if the memory testing was successful. So we have good RAM on this computer.
Well, if you made it this far, you truly are a nerd, and I appreciate it. So if you would hit that thingy so you'll see more thingies from me, I would really appreciate it.